5 people are dead and a 6th near death in the Chicago area after they took Tylenol capsules that had been laced with poison.
Somebody put cyanide into the capsules, and 7 people died in Chicago.
Can I just say they never found the dude?
It was like crazy. Everybody just started throwing out their Tylenol.
Tylenol is a pain reliever and fever reducer. It is used to treat many conditions such as headache, muscle aches, arthritis, backaches, toothaches, colds, and fevers. It is marketed as an effective painkiller without the side effects of aspirin. It originally was marketed towards physicians and pharmacists as a safer alternative to aspirin. The brand Tylenol was created with the development of Tylenol elixir for children in 1955. The name was created by using the letters of its main ingredient, acetaminophen. The sales team at McNeil Laboratories, which was founded by Robert McNeil, formed this name. McNeil Laboratories was purchased by Johnson & Johnson in 1959 for $33 million. In 1960, McNeil Laboratories sold their first non-prescription bottle of Tylenol under Johnson & Johnson. Tylenol soon after became one of Johnson & Johnson's most popular over-the-counter drugs. Tylenol sells a variety of self-healthcare products to tackle some of the most common issues of a cold or flu. These include relieving pain, reducing fevers, and relieving the symptoms of allergies and coughs. With the goal to become the leader of over-the-counter sales worldwide, Tylenol has hundreds of different products.
In 1982, 7 people were reported dead from the use of extra-strength Tylenol. It was reported that the capsules had been tampered with in the production process, which means that someone had purposely tampered with the capsules by putting a 65 millimeter dose of cyanide in each of the Tylenol capsules. Cyanide is a poisonous chemical compound that has many uses, but most notably had been used to poison and kill humans throughout history. There were 7 people who were killed in the 1982 Tylenol crisis, which included Mary Kellerman, the first to be killed at only 12 years old, who was found dead face down on the bathroom floor. 27-year-old Adam Janis died shortly after being admitted to the hospital. Stanley and Teresa Janis, brother and sister-in-law of Adam. 27-year-old Mary Reiner, who was taking Tylenol after giving birth a few days before. A United Airlines stewardess, Paula Prince. And the last victim, Mary McFarland. All the victims are from Illinois, near the Chicago area. It was discovered by 2 firefighters, Philip Capitelli and Richard Keyworth, who had discovered that each of the victims had all taken Tylenol extra-strength capsules.
5 people are now dead, one in critical condition after taking extra-strength Tylenol.
Johnson & Johnson faced their worst nightmare in 1982. People were dying from using their product, which had been tampered with. The crisis team handled the poisonings in 2 phases while sticking to their credo. The first call to action came from Johnson & Johnson's PR team. They alerted the public via the media to immediately stop consumption of all Tylenol products. Johnson & Johnson suffered $1.24 billion in losses from the recall of over 31 million bottles of extra-strength Tylenol. Many people thought Tylenol would never recover from this hit. Phase 2 of Johnson & Johnson's reaction was the comeback phase. The company took full responsibility for the deaths in 1982. They wanted to inform the public that Tylenol was still a safe and dependable product. Tylenol came out with new packaging, sealed lids with a warning to not use if seal has been tampered with. Coupons were given out and a new pricing program was set up. Salespeople went to meet with the medical community to put Tylenol back in the market. By standing by their credo, they were able to maintain their market share as a solid competitor in the industry.
Before September 29, 1982, manufacturers such as Johnson & Johnson felt that if they made a good product and dealt fairly with consumers, retailers, and employees, they could maintain a positive image and be considered consumer-friendly. The corporation had a positive image among its employees. It was listed as one of the 100 best places to work. The company credo was written by Robert Wood Johnson in 1943. The Johnson & Johnson credo emphasizes putting the consumer first, a concept that would make all the difference during the mass Tylenol recalls in the early 80s. The credo identifies 4 primary stakeholders and addresses the company duties to each group. These groups include consumers, employees, communities, and stockholders. The credo seeks to serve consumers by keeping costs low so reasonable prices can be maintained and promptly and accurately servicing consumer order. To address the needs of its employees, the credo maintains that Johnson & Johnson will provide a sense of job security, fair and adequate compensation, and clean and safe working conditions. After addressing consumers and employees as individuals, Johnson & Johnson credo goes on to address itself within the community. It defines good citizens as those who support good works, charities, and who accept their fair share of taxes, with the belief that this will encourage civic improvement and lead to better health and education within each community. The last section of the Johnson & Johnson credo addresses stockholders. Johnson & Johnson emphasizes the importance of innovation in generating a fair return for stockholders. To develop new ideas, Johnson & Johnson is committed to conducting research and developing new programs, purchasing new equipment and facilities to aid in launching new products, and creating reserves for protection in adverse climates. A small but significant section of the credo states that mistakes must be paid for. This was widely demonstrated during the 1982 Tylenol recalls. The Johnson & Johnson credo that guided the company's crisis team through the ordeal of saving the company's image, even as news accounts reported the company's Tylenol product was killing consumers. The poisoning made it necessary for Johnson & Johnson to launch a public relations program immediately in order to save the integrity of both their product and their corporation as a whole. Johnson & Johnson's handling of the Tylenol tampering crisis is considered by the public relations experts to be one of the best in the history of public relations.